Nancy's checking in. It's June 6th, quantum burst.
Yeah, I said I had a reassessment from the PT people, and well, I'm on target and there's dramatic improvement. We are going to do it for 3 more weeks, twice a week, and then maybe after that once a week. We'll see where it goes in 3 weeks, but good improvement. Not quite where we either one want to be yet. Yeah.
Well, we'll go with good improvement.
Oh, great improvement. Really.
Good improvement is good.
Yeah.
Great. The goal is, of all the crazy goals, is to be able to get down on the floor and get up.
Oh.
and to totally not need my cane. And yeah. I occasionally need it if I get tired and you want to get away.
Or if you're out walking in rough things or crowded malls or Costco's or something.
If I'm tired, then it's then it catches up. But that was my goal and that was hers. So we'll get there.
Good. Nice. We're gonna call that good.
Yeah, we're gonna call it really good.
So are you done with PT for the week?
For the week?
Yeah, because she's off. I'm done with working with somebody else. I have my homework.
Yeah, very good. All right, Kate, how are you?
I'm good. I'm really tired today.
Yeah.
I'm doing so many things around the house. I just sat down a little while ago and went, I could take a nap. But it's okay. I'm plugging away at getting a bunch of stuff done I want to get done. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, you always get to find that fine balance between getting stuff done when you're home alone and not.
Yep. And I got a lot done in the last 24 hours, I'll tell you.
Okay. Very good. All right, Stevie, what's going on in your world today?
Hey there, well, happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you. I've heard from all of you all y'all.
I know.
And
All y'all's.
all y'all's, yeah.
And well, I can kind of align with Kate, except I haven't been in the housework. I'm tired. In fact, I dozed for half a second before the call started. And was working on the stuff for my company, and it was, I think, 3 minutes till 5. The next time I looked at the clock, it was 5:13, and a little 20-minute power nap on my keyboard, almost. But feeling good, what's going on? No intense activities or anything. I mean, we're, just good. Pickleball as well, having fun with that still.
You play tonight?
Yeah.
Very good.
Carol and maybe a couple of others are going to be there. So
Awesome. Oh, give her a big hug for me.
we'll do.
Yeah.
And well, I don't know. It comes up later on. Well, for now.
Okay. Well, I was telling Kate two things. Linda can't be with us tonight because one of her long time friends died. She was dealing with, I think she said it was MS for a long time, but the last few months she'd been doing really well until just a couple of weeks ago. But she got to see her and be with her, and now that group of them, that 10, which is now 9, are doing the celebration of life and then going out tonight. So she just didn't realize it was the same night as Quantum Burst until this morning. She's doing pretty well with that, but she said to be sure and tell them that I really miss you. I've missed so much recently. I miss you guys. So I'm bringing her in. And then I was telling Kate that besides it being my birthday today, which is kind of really weird this year, it's kind of a little bit of a non-event, sort of, just the way it came on the calendar and stuff. But my awareness has mostly been today on Jaden, because she did have her knee surgery. So she's home. Doctor said she did really well. It was longer than they thought, because it always is. So it was over 3 hours under anesthesia, and she had a hard time coming out of it. She was crying and said her ankle hurt. Nobody can figure out why her ankle hurt, but whatever. Who knows? Anyway, at least 2 full weeks of locked in straight at fully extended non-weight bearing. I'm thinking, how's she even going to go to the bathroom? I mean, I'm sure she's got this big old long brace on. I don't know. Anyway, as Kate so beautifully put, aren't you glad you're not parenting her? So, oh my God, yes. I can be grandparent. That's not quite how she said it, but yeah. So that's good. I talked to her this morning, was texting her this morning. I said, well, are you more? I said, how are you? She goes, okay, good, fine. You know, one syllable responses. I said, well, are you more calm or more nervous? About 5 minutes later, calm. Okay, good. You got this. And then we did some zinging up in the call this morning for her, and it was as if my phone's ringing. It was as if this was her initiation. Like, she's got this, like she already knows she's super powerful, but she comes into another sense of her own beingness, her own essence through this. And I just thought that was just so cool. So, you know, we all get initiations, don't we? And doctor said today recovery will be at least 3 months. We don't know exactly what that means, but we'll see. And I get to hug on her on Sunday, so I'm happy about that.
Did they do everything that you wanted done or hope to get done?
Yeah, so what they did, I don't know if I shared any of this before, and I think what they did, I think she had broken cartilage. Now that's a weird word for broken, but it was broken. So the broken cartilage was damaging bone. Her kneecap was dislocating on a regular basis. And so they were going to go fix all of that. So it was bone and cartilage. And because they went in, her tibia was crooked to where it should be straight. And so they did a bone graft and they straightened it. So she's got pins and plates and screws and all kinds of stuff. Now, they probably wouldn't have done that had she not injured her knee, but because they were in there anyway, they said, let's do it all. So,
You know, just as a note, after having knee, you know, they do pull on your leg and your foot during all of that stuff to get it into alignment. Whatever they do to get it, make sure you're the same height on both sides and all that good stuff. So there is some hurting in unusual places afterwards.
yeah. And that coming out of anesthesia, and she was crying and, you know, nauseous and wanting to throw up, you know, that whole first coming out moments. Anyway. Zinging up Linda and her friends and the gal who's transitioned and all of that, just sort of setting our field. So
How about you? Your physical
me?
stuff.
What about me? It's all about everybody else, isn't it? I'm mostly good. I leave on Friday for a weekend in Springfield, and then Sunday I go to Kansas City. Monday, Xander and I do our 12-year-old grand adventure. So I'm excited about that. That's been a lot of moving parts. We're going to go to SeaWorld and Harry Potter and Nintendo at Universal Theaters. And then we're going to one day on some ocean beach between San Diego and Santa Monica. We might snorkel or kayak or fish or take a fast boat ride. I don't know what yet, but something. Had a hugely brutal meeting this afternoon with some transitional consultants with personality issues and stuff. It was just like, I don't have too many brutal meetings anymore, but boy, it was brutal. I'm in recovery from that. It's like,
Hmm.
I don't want to be here. I don't mind helping people walk through conflict, but I do not like to be in the middle of it. So anyway, other than that, I'm good. Rob and I are going to go to dinner when we're done. Then we're going to go with Rose and George tomorrow. So busy, fun, good. I guess. All right, what else? Anything else? Looks like Nancy might have something else.
I'm just gonna add something really quickly. When, when you do something for yourself, that, I was invited to a birthday weekend this starting Thursday through Sunday, and at a gorgeous place out in the hill country. I mean, the home is on it's a VRBO, but it's on 17 acres, and it's got pools and out, whatever. It's just, and it's fabulously designed and everything. And I finally today, after my PT session, and I could get an evaluation, I allowed myself to say, and everybody wanted to accommodate me and help me and do everything. And I'd said this from the beginning, but I allowed space to make it okay. And I finally just said, I told Steve, that's not the conditions I want to go on an outing on right now. It's not. And as far as somebody else, so you're always touring, you want to make it, but it was not, I looked at all the terrain, I looked at everything, and I went, that's for another day. That's not for today. And then be able to say to people, I'll get you the next go around, was very liberating. Because that old thing about you don't want to disappoint yourself, you don't want to disappoint somebody else who's having a fabulous birthday. And it's like, once I just made the decision and the call, it's like, whew, I'm done here. I'm so relieved. That major thing to stand up and take care of myself in this one first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm glad you feel that relief with the decision. It wouldn't have mattered which decision you made, but with that, that just, it's like, oh yeah. Yeah. Awesome. All right. So what else did we do this morning? Because I just like to bring that in, right? It was, again, I think we keep doing this, but I keep getting that whole tiger kitten kind of analogy, but it's just like, well, okay. And so we're watching Lucifer again. If you watched Lucifer, if you like Lucifer, you don't like. So we just finished the season before the very last one. And it's so good. but they go, they're walking in human form, and then they go, and they're this huge energy, right? So keep feeling that. And I felt that for Jaden too, just like, and then the theme for me was that what we're being called to is to remember to walk as that greater field in any given moment. And that greater field is the creator field, as opposed to, well, and then this is bumping into the workshop that I'm doing in Springfield is about the empowerment dynamic, which is the antidote to the dreaded drama triangle, which is victim, perpetrator, rescuer, which most of us are familiar loosely with that. So the antidote is creator, challenger, and coach, which I think I like collaborator better, but to use their model. And it's like, so then I took that, because I've been working on that this week, into this walking greater. And this is not 100% true, but it's like when I remember to go in my energy field, then I am the creator, right? And when I slip back in, I become a victim. I'm not really a victim in my life. I don't feel like a victim in my life, but just that juxtaposition with that language, because I'm playing with it in different arenas. It's just like, unprecedented, exquisite, igniting of the energy field, really. So that was really cool. And let's see if there was something else that I wrote about. Oh, yes. When we do that, reality responds to us. Versus when we're just in our humanity, we're responding to reality. And that was like kind of a mind-blowing bit of a paradigm shift.
Okay, say that again.
When we're in our expanded self, reality responds to us. Meaning, again, that we're really creating. But when we're in our normal little human self, we typically are responding or reacting to reality. So from our humanity, we are reacting or responding to what is. And from our higher self, our expanded version self, we're actually literally creating what we desire. But it has to be if we're operating from what we want, not from what we don't want, which is the other thing that we have to do in our humanity. I don't want that meeting. I don't want that conflict. I don't want that pain. I don't want that annoyance. I don't want that irritation. But what do we really want? Right? Phrases we've used a lot, especially in the prosperity program. What would I love? Oh. Huh. Magic and miracles. Why not? So let's play, I thought, if you want to, in our expanded selves today. Like, let's just see how expanded we would be willing to go for our time together here. You don't have to hang out there later when we're done if you don't want to, but what do you think?
We're always so game.
I know, right? Oh my gosh. All right, so if we're going to do that, oh, by the way, I want to just show Steve and Nancy one of the things that Kate sent me. Look at this goddess girl. She's an agate.
That is really cool.
Isn't that amazing? And it's on like a wand.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I know. Now I have to have a retreat because I need to anoint people.
That's right.
Life. She could hurt somebody.
Yeah.
And all the colors, right?
This is really good.
So she's standing up right here, right beyond where you can see her, but where she's right in my view. Oops, got her standing up better. There we go. So given that we're going to go for our expanded selves, what programs would you like to run today? Any impulses?
Bioenergetics.
Bioenergetics.
Am I just making that up?
Well, there's bioenergetic defense, bioenergetic harmony 1 and 2, support, vitalization. Let's try bioenergetic vitalization. We haven't done that one for a while. That one's come up for both me and Jaden this week. All right, so like just feel, before I even start the analysis, that your energy field is empowered, that becomes bigger than your physicality, or however that works for you. And in that expanded space, we know that all is well and it is done. Because we do, And we have quantum shift into miraculous outcomes. Ooh, cool. First one is pineal gland harmony. Next one is holistic support. Oh, interesting. Nerve harmony, bone harmony, and youth. Interesting. Any comments?
Say the last one more time.
Youth, like kids,
Oh.
youth.
Yeah, okay. Great.
Cool.
And where you think,
Say it again.
as in where you think,
Yeah. We're youthing. Yeah.
I think you think,
We're youthing. We're not aging. We're youthing.
exactly.
All right. So let's feel that. Let's allow for it and let's call it in that we are youthing, that we are our biggest, boldest, most brilliant becomingness, that our essence is expanding and has expanded into next level, whatever that even means. So feeling it open and receive. I set it for 5. Take a breath in. Notice what you notice. Notice how you're feeling. Notice what you experienced. And when you're ready, open your eyes. How was that?
A lot of emotion. Started off with I can feel the pineal gland firing, it's like it's going off. That kind of started the whole activity motion scenario. In one scene, I was like, literally not flying where you would recognize it as flapping wings or anything like that. Zooming over a hillside, it was like tall grasses or the seashore. And I didn't see the sea. I knew that something was over the hill, like zooming over it. Next scene was taking a mountain path down into a dark forest. It felt green, alive, really intense forest area. And I think there was other things that I experienced, but it was mostly motion, feel forward momentum.
Cool.
That's it.
Yeah, awesome.
Hi. Fiona. Hi, Fiona. I felt the kind of what you're talking about, the ebb and flow, but I went into, first of all, I drew an absolute blank on the pineal gland, and I didn't have time to look it up, so I just did. It's like, I don't think I remember what that's about. So I had to go back and kind of just quickly visit some of this. And it's like, okay, but I went into the little figure you have on the top of your wand, the I don't know what you call it, a goddess. I don't know what you're calling it, but
Yeah,
I
definitely
just-
goddess. Yeah.
I just and I've kind of been on that this week, looking at the feminine aspect of God, because I've been surrounded by a lot of he God stuff this week, and it's like I've been out there most of the week, and I went into the goddess on your wand. And you know how it's almost like some of the Hindu where your hair is just going out and flowing in all directions, and it just looks wild and kind of whatever. And I thought, and felt huge. She felt huge, and then I went back and at first I had a word coming in and says, "Oh, so you're recalibrating." No, that's the human form. That's the human form is doing that. Oh, okay. The rejuvenating is this form. It's this. It's where that fits. So it was interesting to have it pointed out, like my old terminology wasn't fitting the new vision. But I felt like when we had one gathering and I realized that we are the quantum shift, and we are the miraculous outcome. So all that started flowing together in a very absolute non-chaotic, and just a very integrated swirl of whatever. No color stood out, but I knew there was color and light. And it was like, oh. And I was thinking, and then I was drawn down to my bone, because what was one of these bone harmony was, and I realized, oh my gosh, I am being, when a bone heals, it generates new, it's not just two old broken pieces going together. There's a whole regeneration of a new that pulls those two whatever pieces together. And so I just kind of went into that space for a moment, because as it's healing, it's still swollen, it's sore, but I just went in there and I went, oh man, there's just a lot of activity in here. You're doing that such a great job. And then I stayed there for a moment, but then I was just right back out into the bigger space. There's no other way to say it than what you said before, just bigger, broader, wider, higher, but still very felt at home and owned it. It wasn't beyond, it wasn't like trying to elevate to something that wasn't already me. Does that make sense? So that was me.
Wow. Cool.
Well, I spent the first, gosh, I don't know how much, bunch of time realizing how tense my body was, and kind of coming back to that first, and then finally relaxing because I realized it, and then kind of just moved beyond it. It was like I just had this really lovely, gentle energy that just I don't know what the word would be. I felt like I had a nice, gentle energy that could do anything that it desired. And it wasn't forced, and it wasn't pushed, and it wasn't hard work. It was just this energy flow that seemed to be able to flow towards or in or through anything that it wanted to. So it was very open, and it felt receptive both directions, and a really nice place to just to be and to see where it wanted to go.
Cool. Very cool. For me, it was that energy field of more is starting to feel true. And what I heard or sensed or felt or something was the more that we know ourselves as this, the more embodied we actually become. And then we use this physical form to just bring our brilliance. It's not like some of you all have been saying this forever, and I have too, but it's not about what we do. It's just about being that presence in the world. Just being that which we do on Tuesday nights, just being that, and the rest of the week is our work. And it doesn't have to look like anything, but the more we know this, what's the word maybe I want to say, the easier that we'll navigate what life brings us. For lack of a better way to say it.
Can I, let's see if this fits at all. You know how we've had the experiences where we become imbued into our higher self. We've had those experiences. I have a lovely one that I continue to visit. Isn't it interesting? Continue to visit as the vision we had in Sedona at the retreat. I visited her, but it was like, this is coming from staying in them, because they're both powerful, express, staying in that and then going, but not visiting anymore, being there, which was a great expansion at those given times, to the now, yeah, like you say, more, it's not more, it's whatever this is. Hope Linda can read my hands. You know, it's like, that was a powerful, for me, remembrance.
And the difference between when we were, I'm just going to paraphrase what you said. For me, when we used to be able to touch it or imagine it, or maybe even call it, it's not that anymore. It's just, oh, remember that we are it. There's no separation between us here and us here, except for maybe some thought we might have, which then may lead to some action we may have and put us in these nasty, horrible, brutal meetings where we forget all about this. Just being honest. Yeah. What else? Anything else? What's being worked?
I never know what's going to come out. So let's see how this fits. You know, when I had my physical therapy yesterday, she had me do a move that when you've had something that hasn't worked for a number of weeks, she had to do this move. And I love it. I had gotten the position, got ready to do it. She says, okay, now I want you to whatever. And I just started laughing. I just laughed at her. I go, that is such a cool thought. You know, that's such a cool thought. And I said, I don't understand. I'm not saying no. I'm just telling you the telepathic communication between here and there is taking a little longer than that. And within, and she laughed at me and she didn't even say anything more. She just grinned. And then I lifted it and did, you know, whatever she said to do. And she said, it was always there. It's there. It's there. So this is like going beyond, you know, when you've got physical recovery going on, and we all have that. And later I had Steve get down on the floor. I was so sure it was a rare and unique exercise. And he got down on the floor and I said, okay, now do this. And he immediately went, and at first I was almost crushed and I went, oh, wait, that's how it looks when you don't have a broken leg. Ow. People, everybody can do this. So now it's like reimagining, but I don't know how to say this, but it was like in everything that we do with it, and a lot of it for physical, for some of it's going on, it's like seeing yourself reblooming as a new and a healing and something bigger. So it'll be interesting now. I can't wait to go back in or tomorrow when I do my own and take this feel and work that into my physical therapy practices. That should be incredibly, I'll post something on it. And
Please do. But you know, it's so interesting because what I know to be true, because I do have medical expertise, right, is that when you have a surgery or an injury, those pathways do get jammed or broken or numbed or disconnected or something. And so your physical therapy is about reconnecting, but also building new neural pathways, but bringing that to all this other stuff that we do. Every time we have an experience, we're like, oh, wait, we can do that? And it's like, well, yeah, of course we can. But it opens up, in that neural pathway of possibility opens up so many more possibilities, which is why I do this work with you guys every week or most weeks, because my why is to open the door to a new possibility. And every time I see a new possibility for me or you or you or you or you, I get jazzed. And that's just cool. And so I love how what you were talking about, physical therapy, just landed. And then seeing Steve do it, it's like, wait, Steve can do it? I must be able to do it too. Not a competition, but realizing like, oh, that's possible. Okay. Who knew? I just think there's layers of that. Yeah, Steve.
For half a second, I felt bad that I was able to do it.
Well, hopefully you got over that pretty quick.
She's sitting with her thing. Oh my God, how could you possibly do that?
And you say, because I did not have a broken femur this month.
Exactly, exactly.
But the other part of that is, let me say this, because Steve's been doing almost 3 months of building and doing all this, I hadn't seen him in a new light of mobility and flexibility. So in that moment, well, I wanted to go, what the, what's that? It was like seeing him anew and going, oh, wow, that's incredible for you. And because I've never seen in about 30 years, I've never seen him do that exercise or that move. And then to realize, oh, he can do that. I'll do that again. Oh, I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and also I think what you were stating there too is witnessing Steve's progression that you haven't been witness to in the same way. That's cool too. Again, relating to not only physical, but potential. All right, one or two. Okay. Oh, this is going to be a fun one. Whoops, let me get it. I put it at 8 hours instead of 2 minutes. All right. So everything that we talked about, because everything everybody shares builds on the energy field of us. So here we go. 2 minutes and 49 seconds. Take a breath in Notice what you're noticing. And when you're ready, open your eyes. How was that one?
Not so much scenario based, but the prior things going on. The momentum. Well, like momentum, like, I don't know how to describe it. Really. Like forward motion.
Okay.
I was in two places almost. And yet after I had that thought, I go, no, you're not. You're in one, but an aspect of you is this where it hurts and where it's healing. It was over here and it was, and I was looking at, the bone harmony and the holistic support in my mind, remembering them. And what I felt was what it's like to have these incredible expansive moments, and it feels so right. And I value it because it expands me beyond some of my stuckness sometimes, if that makes sense. But I felt this very gentle response from all of this to where my mind went with that hurt aching area. And it was like, so, knowing that there are people with far more conditions that are more than this femur, and going, okay, how do I live inside with this going on and allow it to heal, but heal and hurt. Does that make sense? Heal and hurt, and acknowledge it, and still have this, because what this is the promise in of possibilities. But I asked no vision of it as to outcome. There was no deal. and yet, and perhaps that's not totally true, but there's this feeling of incredible wholeness. So if that's an aspect, I don't remember consciously asking, but it could be that a part of me did, and it was a feeling of wholeness to whatever the outcome is here, can be here, and that's what I've got to gingerly hold. And Eliza, I kept thinking of the song that they sang at Unity, and I think Lori sang it or something, or a number of them, but I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me. I will be gentle with myself and newborn child. That just kept coming through in the most loving way from all of this. And it's like, oh, mostly just that. Wow.
That could be a Karen Drucker original, actually. Yeah. And both are true at the same moment. It's not either or, it's both and. Oh. What was it for you, Kate?
I found myself in this place there was a lot of movement, like it was all moving, but it was yellow and orange and pink and white things and sparkly things, and just kind of all around. I don't know, I was very much a part of that, and it wasn't like it was leading me towards doing or being or anything different than just plop right there. You know, not plop isn't a good word because it wasn't floppy, but very ethereal, very light, very full of possibility, but no requirement and no seeking requirement.
Oh. Yeah, isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, this one was about that fullness, but it was more about the awareness of what happens when we do this together. And it's practicing that, like we're practicing, we're memorizing, we're building our capacity for being here longer. And that building capacity was in a training I was in earlier today about building capacity for whatever. But then that came in. It's like we're building the capacity to be what we really are. And that was kind of cool. But movement and motion without striving, but expanding, but power, but gentle, of like lots of paradoxes in this.
And I was feeling as, you know, as I get asked to do exercises that are to regain muscle or strength in a certain area, and they're just seemingly difficult at the time, almost impossible. I was realizing that it's just what you're saying. That's what we're doing here. That's what we're doing here is just, we don't call it a muscle, but it is a something that needs to be built up and yeah.
Very cool. All right, you all. I love you dearly. We're not meeting next week, but I'm not going to a board meeting either. I'm going to be at SeaWorld.
Oh, that's right. We'll have a ball.
Have fun.
Thank you. I love you all.
Now, bye, Linda.
Same
Kate.
here. Have
Happy birthday.
have an amazing rest of your birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
enjoy.
you. All right.
Okay,
See you
bye.
later. Bye-bye.
Bye.